If somebody is being negative about your dreams and goals and where you want to go in life, then more than likely they don't need to be in your circle anyway, and that just means that their dreams are too small, so you got to get out of there sooner than later. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jalen Omega, founder of JayTalks, and thank you all for tuning in. Finally, the episode that so many of my followers and my audience have been waiting for. It's that time. I'm here with it. Finally, the Q&A. I'm so excited to answer all these questions that you all have laid out for me. I know it took a little bit, but trust me, I love getting out content to you all as much as you all love to see it from me. So I always got to make sure everything's pristine for you all. Pristine? Pristine. Somebody look up the definition for pristine. I think I'm using it right. Like flawless. All right, without further ado, let's get to it. I received a lot of questions, a lot of great questions. I broke it down to about 15. So let's go ahead and start off hot. I'm gonna combine two of them because they are kind of asking the same thing. So let's get it. This one's from the Don Father. He asked, when did you realize JayTalk was your purpose? And then Dev FTP, he asked, what made you start doing JayTalk? I think I learned that I really had a niche in public speaking, and when it came to my friend group and my environment, I was always kind of that leading voice. And so once I put those two things together, between public speaking and kind of being like a influencer really, and a motivating factor and a decision maker for a whole group of friends sometimes, I kind of came to that conclusion that, hey, people really love to hear what I have to say, especially when it's geared towards what they're going through in life, because we all could be going through the same things and not even know. To follow up with Dev FTP's question, that's what made me start JayTalk after I really realized that, like, hey, this can really go somewhere. I don't care how long it's going to take. I'm just going to continue to strive and just continue to do this because I know it's going to bear fruit, and I know that it's going to be all worth it later on down the line. I guess I can hit 3 in 1 here because it's kind of regarding to the same thing. Baywan, a good friend of mine, she asked, what gave you the courage to start speaking out publicly on your platform? And just knowing that I have a voice and knowing that people actually listen to me, and just knowing that there's stuff that I have to say and there's stuff that people want to hear, it gave me the courage. It's like, hey, you can be the first one to do this. You can be the first one to be a voice for your community and for other people who may feel unheard, who may be scared to go out and talk to people and even loved ones. Like, it can be hard. This next question is from O Bravo. He asked, what are some of the best ways to deal with social anxiety in the midst of a social setting? So meeting at a bar or going to a birthday party. Just know what kind of environment you're gonna be in. So whether it be meeting at a bar, typically like where we're from, everybody knows everybody. So if you're going out to a local bar, you know you're gonna see a lot of people you know, whether you want to or not. So just prepare for that. If you know you're going to a birthday party with just family and friends, everybody's family is different. Again, just prepare for that. It's all about how you prepare, and that goes for anything in life. You have to prepare for anything if you want it to run as smoothly as expected. And another big thing about social anxiety and dealing with social settings, like you want to be around people, but you don't know just how much your tank could hold being around a lot of people, set yourself a timer. I've done it before, and it works. Like, I've set myself up like, hey, I'm gonna be here for 2 hours and 2 hours only. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what's going on. I know my social tank, and I gotta get out of here within 2 hours. That's personally how I'm able to deal with social settings. This next question is from Carry It All. He asks, how do you maintain happiness and focus on yourself? That's a great question. I learned to practice positive daily habits. It also, for me, I realized it's all about how I start my day, and that's gonna get me focused and keep me on my toes. As far as happiness goes, I've always been a happy-go-lucky person, so like that hasn't really been hard for me because I've always been able to carry that happy and vibrant energy per se, right? Maybe. So yeah, when it comes to focus and happiness, it all depends on what you're surrounding yourself around throughout the day. Are you surrounding yourself around negative music, negative people, negative settings, or are you listening to things that are going to grow your mind? This next question comes from Aaron Weldy. He asks, What are some of the biggest mistakes that you made or that you know people in their 20s make? Ooh. Listen, I'm only 24 years old. I am no stranger to mistakes. I would say that mistakes that I've made and that I even see within surrounding acquaintances is that I've been scared to fail. I always feared people's opinions of me and what I was always doing. So like, while I always knew that I was unique and different, and I still am, like, listen, not to boast, but I'm gonna be a legend one day, like, come on, let's just be honest. But even in knowing that, I would still listen to what other people had to say and tell me how much certain things weren't gonna work, and just afraid of being different. We don't take enough risks, when in reality, like, this is the best time of our lives to take risks, because we have the rest of our lives to live and win and succeed. So step out of that comfort zone. If somebody is being negative about your dreams and goals and where you want to go in life, then more than likely they don't need to be in your circle anyway, and that just means that their dreams are too small, so you got to get out of there sooner than later. I picked this question because I thought it was very interesting, because I never really pondered on it as much anymore, because I kind of felt like there was no need to. But he asked, how much have you progressed since high school? And I graduated high school 7 years ago now. If I had to go back now and see myself in high school, I don't know what I would think. Like, I am a completely different person than who I was in high school. Like, I was a scumbag, once again, being a people pleaser. All I cared about was others' opinions. Whatever it was, I just cared so much about what other people were doing and what they had to say. And now, like, I don't know, like, I'm speechless, because I'm just so proud of myself and how far I've come, how much I've been able to impact other people's lives because I decided to change my ways from high school. I mean, I feel like that shows my progression right there. Like, I'm 100% a different person than who I was, and I would not trade it for the world. This next question is from Evan Gerlach. He asks, is a college degree critical to being successful? Again, this question could go two ways. However, I will just keep it according to me. I received my college degree for accolade purposes, to make my parents proud, and I still want to go further. I want to go back and get my master's and my doctorate in sports psychology. Essentially, do I think a college degree is necessary for success? Everybody has a different definition of success. Now, like, if you're trying to be in the medical field, 100% you need to go all the way. That's something very serious, like that field, and it's very intense. So I would say for things like that, it's all about what you're chasing at the end of the day. And then he asked about advice on someone who's switched their major because they don't know if it's right for them. Like, if you're at this point in college where you're trying to look for a different major or double major, you have an idea of what you're good at and where you want to go in that direction. So my advice to you on that is, do what's best for you. You can only make your parents proud, your family proud for so long until you have to start doing what's right for you. You know what you're good at. Just get after it, just test the waters, and just do it. Seriously. This one's from a good friend of mine. She asked, why don't you have any tattoos? Funny story on why I may never get tattoos. So it was senior skip day, high school, a different lifetime ago. Whatever, we get there and I'm walking, everyone's taking their pictures, doing whatever. I'm looking swole as usual, alright, I'll cut it right there. And I was just like, yeah, bro, like, this is what I'm gonna get for my tattoo idea. I'm gonna do like a kind of like heart to like arm right here. You can see that on the camera, but yeah, this little thing right here. And she's like, don't get tattoos. Like, what the hell? I'm like, why? Like, why not? What's wrong with tattoos? And she's like, there's nothing wrong with tattoos, Jalen, but you're a very attractive person. Like, you're tall, you're handsome, you're light skinned, and like, you're just Jalen. And I'm just like, all right, well, I don't understand what tattoos are gonna change. And she's like, if you get tattoos, instead of being just Jalen, you're just gonna look like every other light-skinned guy with a tattoo. And looking back on it, like, I don't know how to feel about that now. But in the moment, I was just like, yo, she's right. Like, I'm a unique individual. Like, I don't need tattoos. So, like, I don't need a tattoo. Like, I'm just Jalen. And since then, like, it's always been in the back of my mind. I'm like, bro, like, why do I need a tattoo? Like, I'm already me. Like, I don't need that. That's just a funny story. I think it's one of the like most interesting conversations I've ever had, and it sticks with me to this day. My great friend Khalil Hernandez, he asked, how is your relationship with Jesus? Not church, but God the Father. I do take my Christianity very seriously. My relationship with Jesus is always growing because of how much he has brought me through and how many times he has literally saved my life. So I read the Bible once a day. I will do devotionals for like a month or two, and I try to find new ones. And just like everything else, like it can get rocky at times, but at the end of it all, I know that I'm forgiven, and I know that he's the beacon of life and hope for my life. So my relationship with Jesus is great. It can be better, and it will continuously be better. I know it will never be perfect because I'm not perfect, but that's my relationship with Jesus Christ. Like, he's everything to me. This question is from a very good friend of mine, from Florence Katie. She asked, do you think our generation is depressed now more than ever, or are we more vocal about depression? I think a little bit of both. I think that, yes, we are more depressed because of instant gratification, how social media portrays riches, cars, clothes, money, jewelry, bodies, instant gratification of likes, views, comments, follower count. Everything's about recognition. Everybody just wants to be noticed. Like, it doesn't even have to be for anything freaking good. There's a lot of trash on the internet, all right? Like, let's just be transparent. So yeah, I think people are more depressed than ever because everybody's trying to keep up with the next person and trying to get inspo from the next person, or do what somebody else is doing, or go where somebody else is going, or wear what somebody else is wearing. And eventually you see that people get into this hole where it becomes an addiction almost. So yes, I do think our generation is more depressed than ever because of the internet. And I also think we're more vocal about it because of the internet. Like, we have more groups on Facebook, we have more hashtags that we can follow specifically on platforms like Instagram and even TikTok. And coming from somebody who suffers from depression, and I don't think there's a full cure for depression yet. That's why we say coping with the community now around mental health awareness and things of that nature. We are more able to be more vocal about it, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be frowned upon. So yeah, I think it is a little bit of both. This is from my boy Joey Billetier. He asked, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Keep killing it, brother. I appreciate it, bro. I really do. Where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I see myself making well over 6 figures, living not in my dream house yet per se, but in a house that I'm well off to be living in with a fiance, possible wife. When that day comes, we starting a family and really being financially independent and financially free to do whatever I want, still creating content and speaking to the community as well. Next question from Matt Horn. He asks, what makes you you? What makes me me is that I have a second to none mentality. I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care how many years you have on me. I don't care what you've been through. You will not outwork me. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to even put into words on how big my determination and my drive factor really is. Like, there's not a single person that I know who is willing to work harder than me. And that's just what makes me who I am. That's what makes me want to go to the next level. That's what makes me want to keep on putting out content when I get 1 view. That's what makes me want to continue to chase my dreams when nobody's watching, when nobody's rooting for me, because I know that at the end of the day, what I'm doing is going to mean something one day. Whether people like it or not, whether whoever likes it or not, I know that it's gonna be essential one day. I have something that nobody on this earth has, so that's what makes me me. Last but not least, once again from my good friend Florence Katie. She asked, what is your end goal? Ultimately, my end goal is to be able to be a motivational speaker all across the United States, if God willing, across the globe, and be paid to just travel and speak to, whether it be Black communities for like the children and teens, or to the wealthiest of conferences and seminars. It doesn't even matter. Be able to serve others, not even being paid in monetary value all the time, but just with purification, knowing that I'm changing the world with my presence, with my voice, with my actions. That's my ultimate goal as far as work goes, because that doesn't even feel like a job. That feels like my destiny, as well as have my own talk show, not just a podcast, but like on television, like talk show. And then I have my dream house, which is only like a $10 million house. And then my dream car is only like $1 million, if that. I'll be able to fund that. Trust me. So just having those things and just living out my dreams and just serving my purpose. That's really my end goal at the end of the day, because if you're not serving others in life, like, what are you really doing? Like, what do the riches really mean? What does the flash really mean? Like, it doesn't really mean anything. Honestly, it doesn't. And I don't think people realize that until they really get what they say they want, and then they see what they can never unsee and go through what they can never ungo through. So that's my end goal. That's all for the JayTalk Q&A today. Thank you all for sticking around and listening. I hope that you really got something from this. And be sure, if you haven't already, to click that like and subscribe button. Comment something below. Send me feedback if you did like it. I'd love to hear back from you all. Hope that you have a blessed one. Peace.